Hello, I wanted to make a video just for you guys, my trusted audience, because it's quite a vulnerable story that brought me to a much deeper understanding of something I already know and something I talk about all the time. But let's set the scene. About a month ago, I got a health scare, and it was pretty scary because they told me I would definitely need head surgery. Now, it was scary because I didn't know what head surgery I would need, and I needed to wait for another exam to find out exactly what was needed. So, the waiting, my head just went crazy, making up stories, and my body would respond like the body does, and sometimes emotion would come up and it would be intense. And sometimes, I'd feel uneasy, I'd have anxiety. And most of the time, I just stayed in I am aware of all of this and I don't have to react to it. I don't have to identify with the stories in my head. The stories are just made up, they're just thoughts. And that's what I always bring to you guys. But because it was a health scare, because it was something that was so fundamentally important, and because I had absolutely no control, it was just the waiting game, then it was challenging, and I was challenged. But what was amazing with all of this is that I did manage to share it with my family, because I would have needed their help, I would have needed their support to recover from the surgery if I had it. And that brought me to a really vulnerable place. But in that vulnerability, there was a beauty. There was a beauty of just being purely present, purely open, sharing and receiving the feedback. And that was a gift in itself. But the awareness it took to just not go with the stories, to not go with the body feeling, to not go with the emotion, was at times very challenging. But it was also beautiful because I really had to know this understanding and hold it as my truth and go with it. And that's what I want to share with you, how important that is, because I could have definitely drove myself crazy. And there was at least twice I had to reach out. I needed perspective. And that was great because, reaching out is important. And thank God I didn't need the surgery. The next exam showed that. So that taught me even more deeply that the worrying, the stress, the anxiety, the stories are just a waste of time. They're just not needed because you don't know until you know. And there's no point in worrying about something you don't know about. But the human story is that normally we do worry about things, and we worry more about things we don't know about because we worry because you've not got any control. But ironically, we're not in control anyway. And then yesterday, something more personal happened with a friend of mine, and the stories in the head were just amazing. And the head really grasped hold of this and ran it very, very quickly to the point that I felt in shock almost straight away. And I was amazed, in light of what just happened, I was amazed how quickly the head grabbed hold of it and ran stories. And it was harder to stay in that I am the awareness, because I noticed I had even less control over this situation because I just wasn't the only one involved, someone else is involved. But I'm sharing this now because it's not resolved, the situation, and yet I can choose absolutely just to be aware of whatever comes up in my mind, in my body, in my emotions, because I am what is aware of what is happening. I am not that which is happening. I am not identified with it. I do not have to go with it. And I maybe have to keep reminding myself of this. But I know it's the truth. And when I know it's the truth, it brings a great sense of comfort, a great sense of just peace and relaxation. Because I am what is aware of what is happening rather than what is happening or a victim of what is happening. So that's a message I really want to share with you. So engage, let's have a conversation. Lots of love, speak soon.